Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the most unsuccessful podcast in the history of broadcasting. That's right, we're very proud of that. Spell your last name.
Nero, N-E-R-O.
Just like the emperor, I was going to say, all right.
I want to watch Rome burn.
Just because I might, because if I tweet it, I want to make the right.
I'm at Dante Nero, though.
One word, Dante Nero.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll check the mics. You want headsets, Dante?
Yeah, I like it. You doing video? You're not doing your video today.
No.
I just set it up. I'm gonna set my video up in the.
We're gonna do that eventually.
I used the fucking the Logitech 930s.
Yeah. That's hilarious the way technology is going. The Logitech 930s, yeah, sure. Of course. I know them.
Yeah.
All right, Artie Quitter, Artie Lang Uncensored Podcast. We're smoothing right into this. The regulars today, Geno, Bisconte, Chris Cotton. What's up, guys?
What up?
Been a while. But, of course, my favorite, Dante Nero's here. Real funny motherfucker.
What's going on?
Great.
Happy to be here.
A unique guy. One of the most unique comics in the sense that Dante knows broads.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. A pimp. Yeah. Can we say that?
Yeah. I mean, ex-pimp. Let's say ex-pimp.
But this guy, so listen, first of all, I was at the Comedy Cellar this past week, and I saw Dante. I think it was Friday night, and myself and oh, that's the fucking phone. Shit. Just see what it says there. What number does it say?
It's a
Wow, this is rich.
call answered. It was 732.
Damn.
732. Okay, that's fine.
These are rich.
All right, just leave all this in there.
Oh, it's a record.
Just okay. So we're sitting there. Can I talk about Lenny?
Yeah.
Okay. This is what's great about Dante. Dante, again, a pimp knows women in the sense that, you know, they don't deal with broken hearts. They don't deal with she took this, she took that. They know the psychology of a woman. And I'll tell you, my father used to say this to me. He'd say, if you figure out broads, you'll be fine in life.
Sure.
That's what he used to say to me. And my father was like a ladies' man. I mean, I hope he waited till after he got married and stopped that. But I don't know.
Probably not.
I don't have any evidence.
Probably not.
My mom won't come forward with any of that. But he looked like a movie star, my father. And but he always used to say, he goes, even Frank Sinatra had problems figuring out broads. Sinatra, Ava Gardner, a woman. There were the rumors about her where she had a magic pussy. Ava Gardner, and Sinatra got lost in that shit, and tried committing suicide a couple of times, and people like Dante, they don't deal with shit like that. And there's a comic, Lenny Marcus, a really funny motherfucker.
Lenny.
I've been trying to get Lenny on the show forever, and he was having female problems. And Lenny's real funny, but he looks like Woody Allen, And he might need advice from a guy like Dante. So. Me and Kevin Brennan, this other great comic, we were talking to Dante about Lenny's situation the other night. How did you help Lenny Marcus?
Well, what happened was,
this is great.
Lenny is a kind of like a nerdy guy,
right?
Very prepared,
real funny motherfucker. That's funny that we call nerdy prepared.
He's very prepared.
You fag. What are you prepared? Go prepare, fag.
So I was on another podcast, and he was coming on the podcast after me,
right?
And so he was listening to a podcast that I had done, which was the last one they did before me.
He heard you on the show.
And he heard me on the show, and then he went on and he started talking about this girl that he was dating, who she was really kind of passive aggressive, and she smoked weed, and he didn't really have a problem that she was
younger
smoking weed.
Girl.
Younger,
yeah,
of
that's
course.
the thing. You get a lot of these younger chicks who smoke weed. They just want to live off you.
Yeah,
and they have no ambition.
Parasitic,
right?
I like to
Parasitic
say.
is the perfect word.
Lifetime students. They don't want to grow up.
The student
I gotta
thing
get a
is
job.
like, I'm doing this now. I'm doing that. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a scientist. When are you going to get a job?
How about that?
Yeah, right. Go ahead.
How about you pay for a burger once? One time. How about the fries?
And
Pay
I'm
for
going to eat the burger.
Right,
Because you're staying thin.
So he was on it. He heard me on it. He started talking about his whole situation with her and how she was really kind of, she was smoking weed, but she really wasn't doing anything with her life. And she was kind of passive. It was always drama. And so after he talked about it, he asked them their opinion on this thing, and he was like, well, you know, if you don't like a girl you don't smoke weed, you don't like a girl who smokes weed, chances are this is not going to work.
It's not about the weed. It's about
It really
I don't give a
wasn't.
shit what you do as long as you can handle your business.
Exactly.
Like I don't want to support. I don't want to. You smoke the weed. I don't want to buy your weed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. So he did the show. After the show, the girl called him up. I heard the show, blah, 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 blah. I just need some time to sort things out.
Right.
So he looked up. I was at Stand Up New York, and he found out I was there, and he just showed up. And he was like, listen, I heard you on the show. Can I ask you a question?
Oh, that's hilarious.
Right? So I was like, fuck yeah. I love Lenny, right? So he goes, well, he told me what happened, and she said she needed some time to sort things out. And I asked him, what did you tell her when she said she wanted time?
Right.
And he goes, well, I told her, well, work it out. I mean, you know, we'll talk later. And I go, well, as soon as a chick goes, I need some time to sort things out, I throw a calendar at her. Now you have all the time. Fuck you.
A desk calendar with the desk
big
still
one.
And
attached.
you know what that might mean too is like they temporarily, at least, they've found another way to support themselves. Maybe another guy, another sucker in their lives, and then they go, if that doesn't work out, I'll come back
Well,
to you.
yeah, right.
yeah.
It's let me see if let me put your life on hold,
Right.
so that I can figure out if you're worth me still dealing with you or not.
Right,
If
let me
I
see
can't
if-
find a better option.
Right. Let me see if Carmelo Anthony's willing to date me long term.
Right, exactly.
Why Carmelo?
Why
I
not?
hate him.
Sounds like a
So
very
go ahead.
selfish young lady.
So I
Exactly,
said,
Chris.
why would you? I go, why would you let some bum bitch who don't have a job, who smokes weed, who has no ambition? I go, you're on TV, you perform for thousands of people a week. Why
Hundreds
would
of
you
people.
give this woman
Right.
this control to put your life
Right, you're
on pause?
you're handing her control.
Right. And he says, well, I already did it. I go, okay. So his phase 2 is you don't call her back.
Right.
He goes, oh, well, I didn't call her back. I said, no, but you don't ever call her back. The only time you speak to her is when she calls you. And she says, well, I don't think she's going to call. I go, she's going to call. She
Right.
has to call. He says, why do you say that? I go, because women need closure.
Right.
Guys, we don't need closure.
No.
Like, we'll break up over a text message.
Right,
like,
right,
it's
right.
over. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to keep talking about what a piece of shit I am. I don't want.
Right.
If you don't want to be with me, but women need that closure. And the fact that he didn't call her is eventually going to drive her
Gives
crazy.
you the power.
Right.
Right.
How long ago did all this happen?
This was
Right before Lenny killed himself.
Like it's like last year. It's like last year.
Oh, okay. Now I'm putting the pieces together.
It's like last year sometime. So he goes, she doesn't call. It was like a Wednesday, Thursday. She didn't call Friday. Then she didn't call Saturday. Now I'm emotionally connected. So I call, man, Lenny, what's up? Did she call? She goes, she didn't call. I don't think she's gonna. I go, she's gonna call. She has to call.
Now Dante's like, the bitch is gonna fucking call.
So Saturday goes by Sunday. Monday around 3:00, I get a call from Lenny. He goes, she texted me because she called me. This is what she texts me, right? So he sends me, cuts and pastes the text, and he goes, she says, listen, I know you're probably done with me, but I just had to call you to check and see where we were at, something like that,
God, yeah.
which is
And that's passive aggressive.
Passive aggressive, exactly.
Times a billion.
And here's the problem: when we're emotionally involved with it, we don't see it for what it really is.
Right.
At the root, what she's saying. So, like, you asked for this time, and now passive aggressively, you're trying to make it seem like I asked for the time. I never asked for time at all. You did, and we're not talking because of you. So, what is this? I guess we're done. So I said, this is what you sent to her. We're done.
Yeah.
Lowercase letters. No
Lowercase.
No periods.
No punctuation.
No punctuation.
We don't fuck around.
No, it has to be lowercase. This is
Any
fantastic.
emojis? Any
No,
emojis?
never.
Nothing.
I never use an
Oh,
emoji.
emojis
Never.
is just
I
the
can
gay.
imagine getting an
when a
emoji
guy-
from
When I get an
Dante.
emoji from a guy, I'm like, listen, just tell
Don't
me
ever
where
call
to
me
give
again.
to the gay cause.
More gay bait? Is it more gay bait?
Yes, it is.
So I just said, weird, say one, and he starts giggling. He's like, I can't send her that. I go, you call me and ask me for my help. I'm telling you what to do. Send her, we're done. And
Right.
she goes, I can't. Can I send some? I go, no. I go, let me ask you something. I said, did she really give a fuck about how you were feeling when she told you she needed time? When she put your life on hold? that I just sit and wait until I figure out whether you're good enough? He goes, no. I go, look, if you need me to, I'll drive to the city. I live in Brooklyn. I'll drive and I'll send it.
Right.
If you can't send
That's
it.
hilarious.
He goes, all right, I'll send it.
Dante is very into this.
He's had conversations with me years
because
ago.
you're a bitch. We'll
I'm
get
a
into that in a
bitch. I'm a
second.
bitch.
Oh, I can't wait.
I agree with Dante's ways, but I'm just, if it was coming out of my mouth, and I get what you did, it was coming out of Lenny's mouth, so you had to adjust it for Lenny.
Right.
Out of my mouth, it would have been, oh, all right, you just tell me when. You got the calendar is in your hands. I'm doing what I want anyway.
Right.
That's a
Well,
mistake.
no, we should.
Like, I'm a dick.
Okay,
Like, yeah,
but
I
Chris
don't-
is talking a big game. He's married to a chick.
I'm
He's
married. I'm
completely
only
in
married
love
one.
with
Yeah.
this chick.
You're the passive aggressive high chick in that relationship.
But Chris,
Nah, I'm
Chris
pretty
happened to find an angel. She's
great.
He did. She's beautiful and she's nice. But go ahead.
And Chris has a big ass. He's got a nice ass.
It's like,
I got a big ass.
You got a dumpster.
I didn't know I had an ass.
none of us.
Sweet
None
ass.
of us are exactly a young Bob Redford.
Bob Redford.
Bob.
On a first name basis. Bob Redford.
So I
This story is fascinating.
So I
love it.
Go ahead.
So I go. So he sends her. We're done, and he's giggling. I can't believe I'm.
He's like, Dante, I think I fucked up. One of the letters was not lowercase.
I put "were done." It's past tense. I fucked it all up.
You idiot!
And if you put a large case letter in the middle of the word, that's even better because it's like the little rascals. You can't even spell. You know,
Wait, no, let me get to explain. Okay, I want to take this step by step when I can here. Explain to me the psychology behind all the lowercase letters. Does that mean you don't give a shit?
You
kind
don't
of
give
thing?
a shit.
Right.
I don't
You're not
even give a-
even worth me hitting the extra button.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
I'm
It's
glad I
just
knew
so
that.
I don't give a fuck. This is. Are you kidding me? This is 5 days later.
I'm coordinating my gigs.
I don't have time to fucking deal with you. I'm already fucking somebody else.
Right. That's the way you want him to think.
So, he goes, we're done, and I go, look, I got to make a couple of calls. He goes, all right. He's like, all right, I'll send it. So he sends it.
Lenny. Okay. I mean,
20 minutes, like the next, like maybe 5 minutes later, she's sending him texts.
Yeah.
We were falling in love. I don't see why you would do this. And I was falling in love with you. And I just to end it like this. I'm at work. I can't think of it. And he's cutting and pasting as she's sending. It's paragraphs he's sending.
can I get my Batman bong?
So I was.
They make one of those.
So I was. I texted him. I said, I'm on the phone. I was on the phone with the bank or something. I said, look, I'll be off in about 40 minutes. Just don't do anything.
Yeah.
She's going crazy. She's going, and I go, so
Do nothing.
Then he texts me. He says, look, I text her. She wants to come over at 6:30.
Stupid. You
Right.
said nothing.
She said she's coming over after work. And I go, all right, listen, Chase, I'll have to call you back. I call him back, right, because he's getting ready to fuck this up.
Chase, he says to Chase Manhattan, hang on, Lenny's fucking
Lenny's
this up.
fucking up. He's fucking up. He goes, I totally understand. I know.
Oh, Lenny be fucking up. Call us right back.
So I call up Lenny. I go, what the fuck? Who told you to tell her to come? What? I go, okay. He go, well, I she was going crazy. I go, yeah, she's going crazy because she's an asshole.
Right.
And now you have the upper hand. You have won the war. Now here's the thing: after the fucking we beat the Nazis, you don't let them dictate the terms.
But now wait 1 second here too, because I want to ask you, what is your ultimate goal here? To have her come back and you now have the power, or do you not want her? And do you want to make sure
Whatever you want to do.
Okay, so in other words, you want just Lenny to have the upper hand on any level. Like
Right.
he could say "fuck you" and really mean it with closure and not have a broken heart about
Right,
it.
right.
Or the goal is to get her back, and now you have the upper hand.
Well, he really did still like her,
Right.
So I knew he kind of wanted
That
her.
I figured
so,
out. Sure.
But even if you get to end it on your terms, it's better than her ending it on her terms,
Right.
because then you like, I don't know, maybe
Because you
maybe I
then
wasn't-
really don't have closure in your head about it. You don't want
Exactly.
this bitch to be like, oh, yeah, she won. You know?
Right, exactly. So I get him on the phone and I go, okay. So she's coming after work. She's coming after your work or his work? Because I would have said,
Right.
look, you want to talk? I see you after my last gig, 1:30, 2:30. I should be done. So now I make her come over to the house at 2:30 in the morning, right? So I said, when she gets there, she says, well, she's coming after her work. I says, okay. All right, so when she comes over, this is what you do. She's going to come in, and she's going to jump all over you. She's going to try and kiss you. And when she does that, you take your hand and you push her back, And you go, wait a minute.
You're even getting into the physical dance of it.
Because now what she'll try to do is she'll try to even the score with sex.
With her pussy.
Exactly.
And-
She'll try to
and
leverage it.
Richard,
going
let's just
to
say
win.
it like it is. Richard Pryor. They got half the money and all the pussy.
All the pussy. But when you're ready to take the loss and she wants to give you the pussy and you're not taking it, now you have the power.
That is power.
And
That's a lot of power.
That's a lot of, and she
That's
has
willpower is what it is.
And she also has the thing that she has to deal with the rejection that we deal with as men all the time.
Right.
Because they're not built to be rejected.
No, they're not.
I mean, I've
A
rejected.
hot chick isn't.
No,
A hot chick
definitely
has
not.
no idea how to
Definitely
do it.
not.
In any, not just with sex, even in jobs in life, in
Sure.
career. Like the first time they are up against a real boss, not a professor they could flirt with
Right.
at a college that they're paying or something, and they're like, "Oh, the boss was mean to me. Why? Because he asked me to do something."
Right, exactly, and I can't show my cleavage and get him
Right,
to fucking
right,
bend.
right.
So they're not built for the. We are as men. We're dealt with that rejection from the inception of our attraction to women.
Right.
and we've always dealt with it. And so even though it's still hard for us. So you can imagine somebody who's hasn't dealt with that rejection throughout their life, and now they have to deal with the rejection.
They got no way to.
I want to
it.
give you. How many times has she tried to give her a pussy to somebody and they were like, "Nah, I'm good."
Yeah, listen.
It's probably never happened.
Right. I mean, I guess I'm assuming she's good looking. you
Yeah,
know,
she's
right,
a cutie.
right.
She's a cutie. So he pushes her back, and I said, "This is what you push her back because she's gonna try and fuck you." She's so, and I said, and then you tell her, "Listen, we need. First of all, I want you to understand." And then I talked to him about what were the parameters of the surrender, because this is a surrender. So
You're
we
so
need,
romantic,
we
dude.
Need,
I'm welling up here.
I mean, no,
It's tugging at my heartstrings.
the pussy of Versailles.
This is now we have to figure out what
Right.
the terms of the surrender.
The treaty of heavy sighs.
Exactly.
Nice.
So now I said, well, do you really give a fuck about the weed? So he said, I don't really give a fuck about it. Just that she's kind of like don't do shit, and I just have a problem with the fact that
That's
she's
it's not the weed; it's what the weed is
ex-
causing.
exactly.
She's just sitting there.
And I said, and then the passive aggressive, I said, so you have to figure out first what it is you want from this. Like, don't just accept her back and not give her the terms of what you want, because now you're back in the same situation. So what do you really want? I go, look, if you don't like the weed, just tell her, listen, I don't care if you smoke, I don't care, but when you are high, don't come over here. If you smell like weed, don't come over here.
Fuck
If
your
you're
other
gonna
boyfriend when you're high.
Exactly.
Well,
And
they
you
weren't.
say that.
They weren't.
Yeah, that's
they
a great-
weren't
really?
living with each other.
No.
All right.
I go, when it comes to this passive aggressive bullshit, you ask for the time and then you try to make it seem like if we have to deal with this drama again, let's end it here.
Right.
You go your way and I go my way. We don't have to deal with it. We're already broken up. So you could just no, I love you and I was falling in
Love
love
when
with
he
you.
does
And
a chick's voice.
right? And
That's perfect.
Every woman talks like that.
Sure.
Every woman.
And then he starts laying it and he says, okay. I go, now, after you've laid out the terms, right?
Yeah.
I said, Lenny, then you have to, I need you to listen to me. I said, because this is going to be hard. I go, I need you to throw her out of your house. He goes, throw her out? I go, you have to throw her out of the house.
Now, did you mean physically?
I don't
if
think Lenny.
if you have to,
I don't
yeah.
think Lenny could do that.
If you have to, but you're not gonna. I said, look, you could just kind of guide her out of the house. And she says, well, I gotta throw her
Guide
out.
her.
He says, do I hug her? I go, no.
Guide her over the balcony.
You don't hug her. I said, you don't hug her. You don't console her. She created this scenario.
No consoling.
She doesn't get any concern or comforting for something that she created. Because if you comfort her, what message are you sending to her?
Right.
That this is okay.
Right.
That it's okay that you and what you're really doing is just setting boundaries.
Right.
So he says, well, I don't know, how do I throw? I go, look, here's what you do. You tell her, listen, I'm still upset about this bullshit.
Yeah.
Why don't you go home and we'll start fresh tomorrow? And she goes, go home? I go, yeah, you should go home. And then just guide her out of the house and then close the door behind. I go, now if you want, you can look out the peephole and watch her looking back. Because she's not.
You know, she ain't gonna just walk back. Yeah.
Right. So he actually threw her out.
Oh my God!
Good for you,
You got
Lenny.
Lenny to throw
He
somebody
threw
out.
her out, and then I go, now here's the thing. The next morning, you have to act like nothing happened.
Right.
Like you didn't have this argument, hey, how you doing? Good morning, babe. How you doing? Listen, I was gonna go. Why don't you? Let's hook up. Go see a movie.
Yeah.
Because now you need to be the benevolent king.
Right.
So you've made a mistake.
Right.
You've apologized for it, and you're forgiven. But you're forgiven because you understand what the boundaries are.
You've made a mistake.
It's fine.
You've been forgiven.
You have been forgiven. And now I'm the benevolent king. That I want to show you how good I am that I can forgive and move on.
Right.
If she mentions anything about it,
Punch her in the face.
You go, listen.
A nice casual choke.
Hit her with
Maybe in the
hit her with a
stomach.
sneaker.
You want to go in the stomach because
Now.
then she's breathing, kind of catch a wind.
The stomach. That old thing of load up a knapsack with oranges and beat her with that because it doesn't
Be a gentleman. Say head or gut.
Yeah.
Give her the option.
It doesn't leave
Don't be a
marks.
dick. Head or gut, bitch.
Right.
Stomach is better because then while she's catching her breath, she can listen.
Yeah.
So
and if she's
got that
pregnant, you solve that problem.
right. So I go, if she mentions it again, then you go, listen, we already talked about this and you understand what it is I expect of you, yes? And I said to him, when you say yes, you want a verbal answer from her.
Well, what's so funny about this, it's funny on a lot of levels, but you guys most of you, I guess, don't know who Lenny Marcus is. Thinking of Lenny Marcus saying, I'm the benevolent king. Oh, my God. Matter of fact, Google Lenny Marcus, guys. Google him. And he's, first of all, you'll find an amazing comic. Because Lenny is so fucking funny.
Shit.
Secondly, it'll make this story a billion times.
A billion times better, right? So I go, if she mentions, you go, listen, we talked about this already, yes? Now, if you have a problem with what we agreed on, then maybe we should just end this right now.
Right.
And then, so you take her right back. I'm reminding you, bitch, I am not putting up with your bullshit. So if not, fuck you, I'm out. And she, no, I just was emotionally, and I go, well, I've forgiven you, and let's move on. Nobody's perfect. We make mistakes. We don't understand. We didn't understand each other, but we do understand each other, right? And she goes, and you wait for her to say yes. We understand each other. If she nods her head, you go, do we understand each other?
Right.
Because you want that confirmation so it sticks. Otherwise, it becomes displacement.
Right.
You don't really know. So then you can't really, we talked about this before. Didn't you understand? You said you understood.
Yeah.
So if you didn't understand, now you're violating again because you don't give a fuck.
Violating.
You're in violation.
Right.
So you don't give a fuck. And if you don't give a fuck, then beat it.
Right.
So I said, and then if she doesn't mention anything, then you act like nothing ever happened.
Right.
But she'll mention it.
She'll bring it up.
She has to.
So she brings it up, and then he went through listen, we understood each other.
Yeah.
Yada, yada, yada. I expect this no passive aggressiveness, this, that. And I go, look, she's still going to fuck up a couple of months from now because you have to train her to not do that. see the fact that Geno is making faces.
I love it. Because I would never be able to do it.
Why not?
I just wouldn't. I'm
You're
just not.
training her like a pit bull.
I'm not.
gotta
I
do
just,
it.
You hit her on bad. I couldn't do it. I'm a bitch. We've had this conversation.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though.
love it,
If
though.
you either get pimped or you pimp.
I hear you.
So it's
You don't want to get pimped.
You don't want to get pimped because the same way that you're training her, women train us. So the same way you like, oh, I could never say that, it's because you've said things, and the minute you said something that was even honest, some chick has jumped down your throat, and you was like, oh God, what did I say?
You're so right.
Were you there?
They train
Were you
us.
there?
I was
They
there.
train
I was
us
there.
with pussy.
Yeah.
In other words, like how they get a whale at SeaWorld, if they do the trick right, they give them a salmon.
Right.
If you do something right, you get some pussy, and then they go, okay, you see, you want that again?
It's more like an elephant because if you don't do it right,
you gotta
they
look at
beat
Artie
you
and
with
say
chains.
I
He looked right at you and
whale
said
and
elephant.
Well, I said whale.
Yeah, see, they beat an elephant
like a
with
gorilla,
chains,
Chris.
and they
Right.
chain them and hook them under the neck and all kinds of shit.
No, I took him under the neck.
Yeah, so it's not just reward; it's all punishment.
And when you first realize you have some power, two girlfriends ago, two fiancés ago, the chick I was dating, Dana. Well, this story came out. We go to a 2003 Marlins-Yankees World Series game, 5 rows behind third base, and at the time I still gambled quite a bit. She knew I had $5,000 on the game, and the Yanks lost, and I lost $5,000. And with the odds, I actually lost $6,700. So we're driving home, and we're driving through the South Bronx. I had, at the time, I was making some scratch. I had a 4-door 500 SL Mercedes, big black, brand new Mercedes. Now we're driving through the Bronx with the traffic. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. A lot of the white people had left the Bronx. A lot of the people who went to Yankee games, you know. So now it's just, you know, the barrio, people drinking, blah, 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 on the corner. And I wanted a pack of cigarettes. And not realizing where we were, I just said, Dana, please go get me a pack of cigarettes. I stop in front of this deli. Now she's from the Italian ghetto in Patterson. She's a tough motherfucker.
Right.
She gets out, she does it, but then I guess it hits her what I asked her to do. She throws the cigarettes at me and go, fuck you, how dare you do this to me? It's 1 o'clock in the morning. And I go, I'm sorry, I just lost a bunch of money. She won't get in the car. She starts walking down the street. Now I'm slowly following her. Slowly following in a Mercedes.
Right.
And now she starts going, this motherfucker's trying to fucking rape me. This guy's trying to, so now all these kids drinking beer on the corner go, what's your problem, motherfucker? Let the lady be, you know, yeah, let the lady, and she's going, yeah, let the lady be, you fat, she call me a fat fuck. You fat fuck, so give me the finger. And I go, listen, you're playing with fire here because I'm not going to follow you for a long time in this Mercedes. So I get to a red light, I'd run out, I'd grab her physically, put her in the. This happened 3 times. Put her in the driver's, in the passenger seat. Get back while I'm getting back in the car. She gets out, starts walking again. So now we get to the entrance by the George Washington Bridge. I say, you got one more chance here, and she knows I'm not going to let her walk across the bridge. Finally, I said, fuck it, you're walking across the bridge. And at 2 o'clock in the morning, on a Saturday night, I drove home and let her walk across the bridge. Now I get back here. I get back here, and I was worried about it. I was worried about it, but I never felt a bigger sense of satisfaction. Sure. She gets under the Jersey side, calls her sister, who still lived in Patterson. Her sister came and got her, drove me home. Her sister, who was a very sweet girl, said to me, Artie, listen, Dana's very upset. She wants to come home and talk to you. Try to make this a nice argument. She got up here, and World War III started, but I was so happy that I had the balls. Because I mean, listen, I'm no ladies' man. What you're describing, that's not me. I usually get pimped. But this was the first time where I was like, you know what, something clicked in my head where I said, you know what, I'm a celebrity. I got some money.
Right.
Fuck you.
Right.
I got, you know what, for the first time in a relationship, I mean, she was really adorable.
Do you know who I am?
I said, I said, you know what, for the first time in my life, I actually have options.
Sure.
I have other chicks. So I said, yeah, you walked across the fucking bridge. You want more of that bitch? and then she would just, you know. She was adorable. She sounded like Dice Clay when she argued. You fat fuck! The fuck is your fucking problem? And again, I've said this before. I've never hit a woman, but Dana was great at taking a charge. She would plant both feet. I was trying to get out the door. She'd go, I had both feet planted. It's a penalty.
great.
It's a penalty.
She had a good pop. She duck walked. She duck walk and she popped.
Exactly. But you know, I went to another level with women when I
Chris
left.
is laughing because he played football.
Well, no, I know what you're talking about. I went to another level with women, and look, I never became what you're talking about. I'm more on the Lenny side, but I went to another level when I let her walk across that bridge.
Yeah.
When I let her walk across George Washington Bridge, I said, okay, fuck it. You're walking across the bridge.
Well, you know, here's the first time a chick goes to me, fuck you, I get in the car. She goes, I'm not getting it.
I gave her an hour.
Yeah,
I gave her an hour of, because listen, it was 1:30 South Bronx. I was like, what if she dies? Then what? And I think
It's her choice.
Her family
She made a
might have.
decision.
Well, I'm not going to say anything about her family. but you know, put it this way: Italian from Patterson.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Listen, they're fine people. But I was like, you know, I just said, listen, you can't do that again because I'm not going to sit there and then whatever. But you know,
Well, I remember early in the game, me and my, like, the thing is, everything he's saying, I have an uncle who taught me all of this.
Yeah.
But then I had a dad who diluted it with like, okay, but you got to, because my dad was married and my uncle was he was divorced, but he was a player before that, and then he got married and she fucked him, and he became even worse. You know what I mean? So all the shit he's saying, my wife tried to do that when we were dating. One time we were out doing something, and she was like, I don't want to go. I want to go home. I said, all right, good night. And I walked away. I didn't argue with her. She was like, and she called me like, you're not going to argue? I was like, I don't argue in the streets. I'm like, you can call me. get your shit together and we'll talk about it later. I don't feel like this shit.
You can't get arrested again. You can't argue in the
Dude,
state.
I've been raised to either walk away or fucking.
I tell you what happened. I was honestly more afraid of her getting hurt.
Sure.
Because this was not about our relationship. I was like, what if she does get raped?
Right.
You know.
But it's also her choice.
Yeah.
She's choosing.
I gave her I got out of that fucking car, my hand to God,
Here's
4 times and put her in the car. I said, stay here.
Yeah, that's
Calves
too much.
must have been killing you the
Because
next
what
day.
she ultimately
I was in
what
shape, I
she's leveraging the fact that you give a fuck.
Right.
And that's fucked up.
It is. I'm leveraging. Yeah, right. And she's leveraging that I give a fuck about her life.
Exactly.
Not our relationship, her life. And I'm down. I was down $6,700.
Right. Most importantly.
Give a fuck about their life, but fuck, like, stop it. Stop it. Somebody's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
You're fucking up right now. I got shit to lose, and you're fucking up.
No, and you're right. I did have shit. You're right about that because, by the way,
goofy
people
bitch.
did recognize.
Right.
6:02 Monday morning.
Right,
Guess
right.
First call on the Howard Stern show
Was
Artie was yelling at his girlfriend in the Bronx. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, is this fucking happening to me?
I had a situation. I took this chick out,
But Chris is right. I had shit to lose in life.
Yeah,
And she
shit
knew that
to lose.
too.
Right.
That's another
Fuck
good
the car.
point.
I just lost
But
6,700.
we set that situation up where they feel as though they can leverage you because you're telling them what's important to you, and what you gotta be ice cold, like icebergs.
Ice is cold. You'll behead them.
You gotta be. It's so insane because I took a chick out and
You're right,
I've
ice
messed
cold.
with some Olympic cunts, like not just regular cunts,
Does that
but
mean like
Bruce
Olympic
Jenner.
size?
Like,
They're huge
no,
or
like
they're
world
Olympian?
World-class players.
Okay.
World-class.
Average size.
Bruce
Olympic.
Jenners.
Yeah, just leave in their wake bodies of broken hearts of men and destroy
That's it. Some
people.
women are
So
like
Geno,
that.
HPV penises.
he's ruined all the chicks that already ruined you. That's what he said.
No, I'm just saying. No, you're right. The women do. There are certain women like that. They're like
And they'll
Keith Richards.
leverage you.
Dead people are in their wake.
And I've a lot of times because I do the podcast, I do the Beige Phillips show. I will keep an Olympic cunt around because it's a workout.
An Olympic gun.
It's actually a workout for me. It's a workout. because
It works your base
let me
muscle,
ask-
your man
let me
muscle.
Let me
That's
ask you this: what makes an Olympic cunt? Obviously, you have to be sexually attracted to her because that's
right.
where the real power
Right,
comes from.
you're sexually attracted to her. She knows what subtly you give a fuck about.
Right.
She knows what your weaknesses are, and she's so sporadic in terms of what her emotion, whatever her emotion. Like I say on my show all the time, I say women have integrity amnesia. Whatever they agree to on the front end has nothing to do with what they agree to on the back end.
Good point.
So whatever they say up front emotionally
Means
in
nothing.
Right. And they believe it when they say it.
Right.
It's just that I feel differently now, so that doesn't matter.
Right, they believe it when they say it, but they can easily compromise themselves in
Right.
their head and go, "Now I don't believe that.
I don't believe that.
because this, that, and this happened."
And there's always a rationalization.
Right.
So I've taken a chick out where I took her to a Broadway play, picked up the car, I got the car detailed, right? I got the truck detailed, I had filled it up with gas, the insurance was paid.
That's what we call a night out,
the
baby.
night out. I know I'm gonna have to. I got the truck with the big ass tires, so now I got to pay oversized, which is another $15 to $20, right? I take
the garage oversized.
Right, we gotta go to the fucking. I got the tickets. The tickets were $75 a piece, right? She says we get there early because I want to get there early, and because I don't want the stress.
Sure, yeah.
She says she's hungry, so we go into this diner, and all of this is she's winning.
It's a hard call with a Broadway show eating because you're either have to eat way early or you have a late dinner.
Right,
you know?
right. So she's winning. She's got free tickets, a drive. I picked her up. I bought the dress, the whole shit. We get in the diner. There's this waitress who walks by. She accuses me of looking at this chick's ass. Maybe I did. Maybe I
definitely
didn't.
did.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, right.
Diner waitress. I'm gonna leave with a diner waitress.
So she's
Again.
bitching at me, bitching. I go, listen. She had ordered a cheeseburger deluxe. I ordered a little quick bite to eat.
Nice.
I take the cheeseburger back. And I start eating it. She goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "I'm taking my cheeseburger back."
Are you kidding
And
me?
she goes, What? I go, I'm not gonna. If you want to argue with me, you're gonna argue on an empty stomach. I'm not feeding you nourishing you so that you can argue for longer.
great.
Do it on an empty stomach.
Not giving you
She goes-
argument energy.
So she goes, "Oh, that's what the fuck this is. That's the type of man you are." I go, "Yeah. That's exactly the
it.
type of man I am." She goes, "Fine, I'll order my own food." I go, "Waitress with the fat ass, please." She wants to order. I'm eating her cheeseburger, the pickle and everything. Right?
Pickle and everything.
I'm eating the coleslaw. And everything.
Eat the fucking thing.
You're an animal.
She goes, "I don't have any money." Exactly, bitch.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Argument over.
You don't have a wallet on you because you're comfortable. You're so comfortable with me that you don't even think you need that.
Yes.
But you have the arrogance and the audacity to give me a hard time. You're winning. You're the $75 ticket. I picked you up, dropped you off. And I go and say something else, and I'll dump the 2 tickets at $150 a pop.
Right.
I'll go home. I go and keep yapping. I will leave you and not take you home.
He's better than me. Technically, you're better than me. What I did one time, we were out. I was out with some chick, and I walked away. Like, I act like I went to the bathroom. I paid for the dinner. I paid for everything. I took my shit to go. And she came. I was like, "Here, I paid for everything. You're good. I'm out of here." She was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Oh, you're annoying me. And I just can't. I don't want to argue with you." So I just fucking left. And I feel nothing.
Right.
Because I just don't want to argue.
Right.
I don't
And people
care.
are make
It's
me-
very difficult.
Here's what's funny with Lenny.
Fuck 'em.
So after the whole situation, Lenny calls me up. He says,
Yeah, so
"Dude,"
what happened with Lenny? Yeah.
He goes,
Oh, yeah, back to
"Dude,
Lenny.
I think you." He goes, "Dude, did you write a script for this bitch?" Because everything she said, she did it verbatim.
Everything you said she would do, she did.
He was like, "I will." You did everything that she did. Everything she tried to attack me, and I go. And now, after you do all of this, expect her to fuck the shit out of you for the next six months,
There
6
you
weeks.
go.
It depends on how hard you are.
That's the reward.
But the harsher you are, the more she's turned on because she doesn't want you to be a pussy.
Right.
Every time
They
you
don't
let
like
your
weak-
chick
Right.
run you, she finds you a little less attractive.
Right.
I say this, the
Or
terminology.
more vulnerable.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
I've said this over and over again. A woman gives you shit to make sure you are the shit. All she's doing is making sure that you're man enough to manage her.
Right.
And if you can't, then that puts a flag in her head that goes, maybe this is not the guy for me.
Flag in her head. Just put the flag right in her head.
Right
bro.
in the center of her head. So and then he
Good. So
waited
yeah.
a good 6 months, and then she started up again, and he had to re-up.
Now,
You know,
so what? But so now, what's
You had
going
to
on with Lenny
re-up.
and her? Are they
He's
together?
with her. He's
Are you
got
still with her?
She doesn't give him any problems. I mean, he's had a couple of things where he was, where
Couple
he was,
hiccups?
Yeah, a couple hiccups because listen, every dog shits on the rug every once in a while.
Of course.
So
Of course they do.
Are you bringing up the other day? Sorry about your apartment, dude.
you have to be able to maintain it. And I think what happens, what the real reason is that viscerally we don't realize that we're animals. Even though we're cognitive, we're still animals. And so women still have to justify to themselves why you are the mate that they pick.
Right.
And so it used to be the guy me and Artie, we fight.
Right.
Whoever wins gets all the fucking.
That was caveman
That's
day.
But
the
we don't
entire
do that
buffet.
now.
Right.
We don't do that now. And so now they have to give you shit to make sure that you're the viable entity that they're choosing. And when you fail, the minute you fail, she starts to question
Right.
whether you're not the
Well,
guy.
after that, the bridge thing, I started getting more comfortable in arguments. Like she's the chick who she wanted to get a dog, and I don't like dogs in my place.
Right.
And she said, "Can we get a dog?" And I just out of my, I just honesty and knee jerk reaction, I said, "Honey, I get grossed out when you shit in my apartment." and she was like, "How could you say that to me?" I'm like, "I don't know. I feel looser now." I would have waited to tell my buddies. That's what I
Yeah.
was thinking.
Yeah.
But now after the bridge, I don't know. I feel kind of loose.
That's not a wrong statement. I don't see anything wrong with that statement, though.
No,
That's
it's
funny
nothing
as
Tell
hell.
that to a
with it.
dog person. Dog people, honestly, dog people, like, you could be having a cheesesteak. If the dog throws up on it and get mad at the dog, you're the asshole.
Right. Yeah.
You're not you hate animals. Yeah, it
I'm all
threw
about
up
a
on
good
my
laugh.
cheesesteak.
But it's not. I mean, I think that we get afraid to have the argument because we want peace and quiet is more important, so we don't want to have
Well,
the
that's
argument.
the other thing. Like what Chris was talking about too. That wins sometimes too. It's got nothing to do with the woman. It's like I just want to. I just want quiet.
Right.
I just want you to shut the fuck up. I'll give anything for you to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Or leave me alone. You know, speaking of women, before we got into that was great, by the way. Thank you. So, we were talking a little bit about politics when you got here in Trump, and look again. This is worth talking about. Trump has gone up.
Yeah.
You know, after all these things he said, blah, 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 now it went from 22%, he's now at 25%. And that's a big, in that Republican race with all those people, that's a big margin. And, you know, it's worth saying that in Iowa he's winning, where New Yorkers never win.
Yeah.
Rudy Giuliani would say if he ever ran for president, he goes, I'm not even going to Iowa. I don't have a chance. They hate New Yorkers. It's all evangelicals. It's Bible-thumping, blowhard New Yorkers they don't respect. Trump went there, got in their face, is giving kids helicopter rides. Supposedly told one kid he was Batman. People are loving it. They're eating him up. And he is winning in Iowa, too, which is incredible. And, well, Dante, it sounds like you think maybe the pimp thing is working for him, too?
It's the same principle. It's the same principle.
It might be.
Look, most people want to be led. They don't want to be led by somebody who's shaky about what the direction is.
Right.
And when you're apologetic about what and who you are, then people are going, well, I don't know if he's a good leader. And because he's so definitive about what the fuck his direction is, his decisiveness.
Well, yeah. Well, you mentioned the benevolent king thing, like with the Megyn Kelly thing. That's exactly what he did. He said to Megyn Kelly, you made a mistake. Fine, take a vacation. We'll be fine. It's exactly the mentality.
Yeah, wow. It's the same thing.
What he should do is this Carly Fiorina, who, by the way, she's 70. She dresses like she's going to like a rave.
Like one of the sisters.
Yaya sisterhood. She's she dresses like she's 16, but there's something you want to fuck about her. Trump should make her vice president. How about that? Trump Fiorina. That would win. And then just go, look, bitch, I'm the pimp.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it's those same principles
should be on his posters. Look,
I'm
bitch,
the pimp.
I'm the pimp. I'm the benevolent king.
I think the decisiveness, and women love when you're decisive. So you guys will be out and they'll be like, hey, you want to go out to dinner? And you're like, yeah, well, what do you like? I mean, I don't know. What do you like? You want to eat? You just go, look, get dressed. I need you to dress like this. I'm coming to pick you up. But where are we going? I'm like, don't worry about where you're going with me.
How did she say it?
Where are we going?
You know what that's like? It's like the Dice. Remember when Dice would do the chick?
But Dice, why didn't you get him?
Shut the fuck up.
You can tell a lot about a guy by how he impersonates a chick. Like my buddy, he's like, so she goes, I'm like, did every woman you fuck ever have an overbite? Every woman?
They sound like a seal.
Oh, it's like, you really don't like women.
It was funny. Every time I run into somebody who listen to the podcast or they listen to my views, it's always some girl that goes, you say that all women are the same, and that they, you don't know. I go, listen, if you want to know how to kill a deer, you don't ask the deer, you ask the hunter. And I have been hunting you bitches since I was 9.
Well, listen, that would be a great thing for if Trump makes Carly Fiorina. That would be the great thing for it to say on the poster, like even a dog shits on the carpet every once in a while.
Once in a while.
That is so fucking great.
Once in a while.
So we're really thinking that the consensus here, but Trump could at least get the Republican nomination. I mean, that's a possibility.
I think he could take it all.
Yeah.
Would you vote for him, Dante?
I'm really. It's funny. I was just having this conversation because the biggest problem with politics right now is money in the politics. Is that the corporations are basically buying the presidency.
We talked about this.
And 3. So if you get a 4-year term, you're spending 2.5 years just raising money. So you can't even govern because you're raising the money. So when the Koch brothers had all the Republican candidates could come and dancing like monkeys and talking about how they would. Trump doesn't have to do that.
Yeah, and then you're not right. And then when those people raise money, they're not the president. The people that gave money are technically the president.
Exactly.
It's or there's a big interest there.
Yeah,
and the only issue is if the guy who has all the money's nuts, and a lot of
then
people,
you got a problem.
A lot of people think Trump is nuts, but I don't know. It's now the latest controversy is the immigration thing. He's saying that illegal immigrants all have to go, even their kids. Now, their kids, if they were born here, are U.S. citizens. He's going to have a problem with that because legally you can't just toss out a U.S. citizen. And then that means breaking up a family. It's so controversial. What he's saying is crazy.
But
I don't know if it's
I
possible.
think he's talking about that based on the fact of a lack of knowledge about what the situation is, and if he did become president, then all of his ideas have to take a different perspective.
Well, they all have advisors,
right? And they're going to be like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And I think one thing about Trump is he's a good businessman, and in order to be a good businessman, you have to take the advice from other people who know. You don't tell, hey, listen, you don't need all that steel in the foundation. That's you got to go to the engineer and go.
You got architects.
Right,
you got,
right.
right. Everybody does.
This is perfectly good sand you could build it on.
But he does. Well, he does use a lot of tactics that you can't use in politics, that you can use in business. You can strong arm people, blah, blah, and you have to be a little more diplomatic in politics. But he is hitting a nerve with people, and it really is. He's hitting a nerve, and people are buying it. They're fucking buying it.
I'm actually turning my way, because here's the thing: if he doesn't have to, you don't have to pay money. Like, he has his own money that he can run, so he's not beholden to anybody. Now, like you said, if he's crazy, then you're fucked either way. But if you do go with the regular, you go with Hillary or you go with anybody else, they still have to do the bidding of the corporations. At least with Trump, you're rolling the dice with a wild card that might do something different.
Well, with Hillary, it goes deeper than that for me. I just don't trust her.
Yeah.
I don't trust her. Now she's going to this Benghazi hearing, which I think is blown out of proportion.
Yeah,
but
sure.
still, her enemies are going to use that against her. That's going to weaken her a little bit. But she is just a liar to me.
Yeah.
And, that's the thing. If you think Trump's crazy, whatever, at least he's not. He doesn't seem like a liar.
No.
He's telling you what he
don't
really
give a
thinks.
fuck.
And he doesn't
Yeah.
back down. Like
No.
when he said
the Mexican thing.
when he said that, he's like, well, I wouldn't call him a war hero. What? It's like, hey, there's a lot of guys that didn't get caught.
Well, that
at
I
the war.
I
And
hated
thought that was
that.
great. I kind of got a kick out of that.
I hated it because,
Donald
I mean,
Trump.
come on, the guy flew 23 missions. That was a dumb thing to say. But the thing is, everyone says dumb things every once in a while. I didn't like that. But
But he gave his angle on it. He's
But
like, look, I'm
he-
just saying, there's a lot of guys that didn't get caught, but we worry about the ones that
that's
did.
so stupid.
Okay.
But I mean, I think it is. I mean, you can think however you want. But I'm just
Donald
saying,
Trump is like
the
the
guy
Ric
flew
Flair and
22 missions, didn't get caught.
He's like the Ric Flair of politics right now. That's why I like. You know
It
what's
is, it's
funny?
pro wrestling.
Yeah, it is. It's the thing that's funny with this. Just like in wrestling, there's a time frame where people love the hero. You love the hero. Did people love John Cena for a while?
Yeah.
Now this is back to they want a heel. You want an evil dude that's in charge. He's evil enough to be like fuck you, but not evil enough to kick a baby. You know what I mean? That was Ric Flair. Ric Flair was a piece of shit who would come up there and show, I'm rich as fuck. Fuck
Right.
you. But then you'll be like, but I love kids. You know what I mean?
When you come that line,
Yeah.
I got 10 ladies in my limousine ready to go. Woo!
In a way, that's what he's saying. In a way,
He
Trump
is.
is being,
Yeah.
But
Flair is
again, the thing is, with if you're going to be the president as opposed to the WWF champion,
Which is the same.
Politics is similar.
you need ideas. You need some ideas. But interesting shit's going on. Interesting fucking shit. I wonder if Carly Fiorina would accept. Well, yeah, that too. I wonder if she'd accept the nomination as vice president
Sure.
from Trump. Do you think she would,
Sure.
Dan? Yeah.
Sure. Why
Wow.
wouldn't she? Why wouldn't she?
How funny. Listen, and her business history, she ran Hewlett Packard into the ground.
Really?
She was the head of Hewlett Packard and ran it into the ground. Destroyed it, fired people, and had to leave. Had to leave. That's her legacy.
Wow.
And what years were that, Dan? Was the early 90s? When was she head of the Hewlett Packard?
I think it was later than that.
Well, that's the tech, and that's the technology world. You know how hard it is for a company like that to go to
For you to fuck that up.
Well, yeah, she fucked that up.
Yeah.
It was like a wet dream she fucked up.
Yeah.
Anyway, interesting shit. Let's take a break, and we'll see. We'll call Lenny Marcus and see if he's
Call Lenny. He's the greatest
see if you
guy
hear
ever.
someone doing a bong hit in the background.
And you know Lenny he's a statistician for the New York Giants.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
cool
No, I
was
know
that
Lenny
kid? He's
is
great.
a huge sports fan, and like you say, prepared.
Yeah.
Always prepared.
Throw some pussy in there and it fucks all that up. You forget everything.
That's what happens.
discombobulated.
You forget who, Phil Simms threw a touchdown pass to in the 86.
That's why you got to get laid as much as possible.
Well, it does water down the
Makes a difference.
Right, it waters down.
That's why a
greatness.
boxer can take a right hand and still fight because he's taking a lot of right hands.
You got to keep taking the right hand, and your jaw will get less and less glass.
Yeah.
That's my
all right,
mother.
let's take a break and back after this. Good job, Dante. We're back. We're back. Mike and the Mad Dog, we're back. How are you today? All right. Of course, the great Dante Nero's here. Dante, what do you got? Plug something. What do you got for
Oh
us?
shit! Well, I want to plug the podcast, Beige Phillip, on iTunes.
It's good shit, man.
Yeah.
It's great.
I also here's what I'm doing. I started doing now. The emails becoming so heavy.
Yeah.
I started doing one-on-one consultations.
Listen, man. It really. I mean,
Should
well, I'm
be.
not even kidding. It's really worth it. If you need counseling in this, it's a
And we
real
all do.
thing. It's a real thing in life. It will. First of all, it will save you money.
Yeah.
Right. It will save you heartache. You'll be able to function better in life if you could handle, like my father said that day when we were working on a roof. You know, my phone man climbed roofs or on a roof one day. I was about 12. He said, "You gotta figure out broads. You gotta figure out broads."
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he fell off the roof.
So I do. If you hit me on save me Dante at gmail.com, and I'll send you the prices and we'll do like an
that's cool.
hour. And
Yeah, it's worth. It's an investment that's worth it. Save me, Dante.
yeah.
Okay.
Would
And,
you?
Do you make them sign a waiver? Because this would be hilarious real life shit, wouldn't it?
Well,
am I
he's
crazy?
doing it. He's doing it on the podcast. It's and well, I don't know. What,
I had a
what
guy.
about?
I had a comic from L.A. call me. Who we
Joe
know?
DeRosa.
I'll tell you. No, well, not Joe. Joe's a beast now. But Joe,
Joe's a beast.
Joe
had a-
does all right.
Joe
I
had
love
a
Joe.
lot of
does.
practice.
Joe's heartless.
But he wasn't
I
like
know.
he used to
No,
be
Joe
awful.
Joe with chicks is very aggressive now. God bless him.
Yeah,
And he got the dog too.
Yeah, he
Con.
got a lot of wolf in him. But I had a guy from LA. I'll tell you his name after. I don't want to blow him up. But he was married to
Bill Maher.
2 years married.
Nero, go to Dante's counseling.
2 years he was married. Married 3 years. 2-year-old kid got caught cheating.
Ouch.
Right?
How old's the kid?
2 years. The kid was
that's
2.
rough, man.
So he was like, man, no. And I go, and I says, okay. So it's funny because we all think we're different, and we all kind of do this.
We're not.
I said, so so let me get it. I go, so you're in couples counseling. He goes, yes. I go, she picked the counselor. He goes, yes. I go, and it's a woman, right? And he goes, yes.
I've been ambushed by that, man.
Yeah. So I go, how long you been going to counseling? He goes, 6 months. I go, how much you paying per episode or per appointment? $150 an appointment. I says, okay, so you've been going 6 months. $150 is $600 a week.
Yeah.
Right? For 6 months, it's $3,600. You could take her to a trip to Bora Bora and learn how to fuck her again. Why you? And we already know that you cheated. So how many times are you gonna say sorry?
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck?
She already took you to a trip to boring. What about Bora Bora? No, look, again, Chris Cotton and Geno Bisconte also here. I think it's a real problem, and I'm not even kidding. It's worth it because this is what a shrink should be able to do. But let's face it, a lot of shrinks are not players. They look like Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Okay, something topical I want to talk about. Chris said he saw Straight Outta Compton, and coincidentally enough, I was running through the channels during the break while I was having a bite to eat, and I saw this documentary from 2002, Tupac and Biggie. I thought the documentary well done. English or Australian guy, whichever he was, I think he did a good job. But Chris, give me your thoughts on Straight Outta Compton. You liked it, but give me more details.
It was a great movie that really highlighted what was going on for them building their success and also politically
Building
what was going on. Success. Building their success and also
You can't
depicting-
say that sentence, can you?
building their success.
Okay, good.
I had to focus on it. I
Yeah,
had to go.
focus on it, motherfucker.
Regurgitate that seed he swallowed the first time.
Thank you, Geno. Go ahead.
And also, it showed a lot of the politically what was happening in the black community, especially in LA. It showed the cops beating the shit out of people. And
Get over it.
so I told Dan it's
I got
fucked
caught
up.
masturbating at that part of the
Well,
film.
they came. I read an article. Everybody seemed to like the movie, the critics, but the biggest problem people had with it who were kind of in the know is that they sugarcoated some people. Like the character Jerry Heller, who was their lawyer, manager, whatever. I heard you just said you don't hate him in it, but people said if they told the story right, this is certain people's opinions. I don't know anything about it. If you told the story right, you should hate Jerry Heller.
You don't like him. You don't. But they did the same thing with Suge's character. You don't like.
How do
him.
you? Well, that's the thing.
But you don't.
How do you
him.
not? I mean, okay, so why? Okay, which indicates they had to show a good side of him. What's the good side of Suge Knight that they show? He slows down.
They don't
while he's
really.
running
They
you
don't
over.
really show a good side. They just don't show it as bad. As
When he's running you over, he hits the brake a little.
You all right back there? You all right back there?
Slows down to 35.
I'm going to put this in L.
Exactly. But for loser.
But no, you know what it is, and I think the reason why I liked it also because you got to think at the time when they were dealing with him, they wouldn't have known to hate him that much. You at the end of the movie when they finally split up from Jerry and Suge, then you felt the hatred towards him.
Right.
But until then, they were working with him. That's why I said the movie was written great because in the moment you loved him because the characters loved him.
Well, listen, what I love about a story like NWA is that it really hammers home that a lot of these white executives in the record business think, okay, we got a couple of kids from the streets, black kids from the streets, we can just run all over them. Guess what? That might be true for a little while, but if someone's really bright and has a big IQ, and that could mean anybody from anywhere, eventually they will win. And Dr. Dre and Ice Cube won. Yeah. They won, and it showed these executives, very racist in my opinion. No. You know what? We're going to learn the game. Admittedly, we don't know the game yet because we're fucking 17. We're going to get into the game. We're going to learn the game, and then we're going to take what's ours in a legal way, and that's what Dr. Dre did. I mean, Dr. Dre is one of the smartest guys in the history of music.
Well, I would say,
and business.
I would say early in the game, Dre took a nice whipping. He took a
but
nice
he had
whipping.
to.
But
that's how you learn. You have to in a way.
Cube took a whipping, but he got out of it faster than Dre did. Like he started making money
why he
faster.
did?
Yeah.
He sold out a little bit with the family movies. Are we there yet?
Well, we're talking about before that when he split from NWA initially. He was that was all him. He was the only one who was
no
like
Vaseline.
Yeah, he was
beef when he did that record. No Vaseline. He was talking about them sucking the dick of all
right.
the
Getting fucked up about Jerry.
Well, then
he got his shit right.
Did they? Some people when they get the most evil, they suggest Eazy was gay. That's how he got AIDS. They don't go. Do they go there?
Oh no, they discuss it. They discuss that.
Yeah.
They discuss that. People thinking he was gay because he had AIDS. They discussed that very briefly.
We did a sketch on Mad TV in 1995, right after Eazy died in Orlando. I got to give Orlando Jones credit. He wrote a really edgy sketch. They wouldn't let us do the line. I don't think the line ever aired, but Orlando, it was like a young kid getting into the rap business and getting some success and writing out suggestions for young kids, the things you must have to get in. And one of them was get a list of all the bitches Eazy-E slept with. And I don't know. They might have let us do that. I don't know. But then after there was talk that the real place we can't go is that people thought he was gay and which, of course, people said that about Magic, too. I don't know. Closed-minded people are like, you have to be gay to get AIDS. Of course, that's not true. Listen, I'm
Let's
fascinated.
go to Geno on this, Geno.
No, you don't have to. You'd be surprised.
Well, I'm fascinated.
It helps, though, handsome.
Geno, are you so racist that you won't go see the movie?
I'm not racist.
Okay, fine. I'm giving you a chance to rebut what a lot of people on Twitter are saying.
How many of those people will be in the movie? They can't afford the tickets, right? Oh, shoot, I would go.
You know they can hear you out there.
I mean, I'm not going to go to a movie with a bus stop in front of it. I'm not stupid. I'm not looking for trouble.
Geno's a lovable racist.
No, listen, I just think I'm fascinated by that story. And I give a lot of props to Dr. Dre and Ice Cube for doing it. It's hard to... Although the other thing is you hear the bougie thing of Ice Cube was going to University of Arizona at the time and he was kind of bullshit. Dr. Dre was really hood. Eazy-E was really hood. What about that?
Well, it was reversed.
Ice Cube wasn't hood or wasn't
Dr.
hood?
Dre was the one going to school and all that, but Ice Cube was the only link they had really to the hood. Because Ice Cube.
Ice Cube was the
Ice Cube was the hood.
Which one was it?
Eazy-E was hood, but he was real
I
drug
thought he was
dealer.
super.
He was super hood. Yeah, he was super hood.
Drug dealer.
But Cube was the Eazy-E was the money. He's the money guy. Cube was the actual like aggressive muscle, but he never really had to.
You know,
people just was intimidated by him.
There's
He
a
had
lot of
intimidating
similarities to
people.
the Rolling Stones early on that people make. And the Eazy-E is the Brian Jones of the scenario. A guy who died. You know, Brian Jones died from drugs, but he was sort of like the brains money operator, you know, what, blah, blah, blah. And then he died, and it let Dr. Dre comes off as like the Jagger, and Ice Cube is kind of like the Keith Richards, where they both have emerged.
That's fucking brilliant.
Well, then you get Jerry Heller. Who's like their manager lawyer, who, again, another guy who in every documentary comes off as a shithead, but you say he comes off likable, which means to me
Until
they
you
had
hate
to
him.
lie about
Yeah,
something.
until you hate him.
Or sugarcoat something.
They basically, and I don't want to give away the movie. That's why I'm trying to talk.
Well, we all know the end.
Isn't it reality?
But
It's
one
like,
of the things
it's
where-
like Titanic. Like, I don't want to give away.
But
It's a true story.
Spoiler alert in JFK when they get to Dallas.
Yeah.
it's one of the things where they showed
Look out.
I don't want to mess it up for you.
his
Yeah.
storyline between him and Eazy-E was great. So they
Heller
really,
and Eazy.
yeah, because
Right.
he was fucking over Eazy the hardest.
Well, and
but he
that-
also befriended Eazy the most. So
In that
it
one
was
video,
great.
I think in the Chronic video, the first video to come off the album, The Chronic, they get a character to play
Yeah, and
Easy.
he was-
It's a really cartoonish.
Rozelle.
And,
Rozelle, he was
and
a funny
Jerry
comic,
Heller
yeah.
is depicted in that as a real sleazeball. That's supposed to be Heller in that video,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Just giving him a nice.
It's
fucking,
look, it's fascinating shit, and I was close to, because like I was telling these guys earlier, at the height of my coke days, right before I got arrested.
You didn't do drugs, did you?
Well, no, I did my time in LA County. Right before I did my time in LA County, I was, weeknights before we'd have a network read through at Mad TV, I would go to Compton. I found out from my New York coke guy, I got a connection in LA, and he told me where there'd be. He gave me an address. Not far from Florence, he goes, they'll always have it. 24/7, they will have blow. And I would go there with cash. I was getting paid $8,000 a week on the show. I would go to the accounting office at Mad TV. Before, my agent was William Morris at the time. Before the check went to William Morris, they had to give it to me. It was my money. I would cash the check. I would take $4,000 and I would Western Union it to my mother, and to make sure my mom was flush. I would take $3,000 and put it in my pocket, and $1,000 went to. I would overpay. The smartest thing I ever did, William Morris every week. So I'd have I built up some because I had to pay them $800. I gave them $1,000 every week, 10% commission. And the loser in the game was my manager. I let that bill go up. But then I found out later. Here's what they were double dipping. William Morris packaged the show. Quincy Jones was rep by William Morris. I didn't owe him that money.
Oh, wow.
So the greatest thing ever was I got to take that money, and that's how I paid off my manager, or I would have, because I lost money gambling. Everything happened. But I would go cop in Compton, in the heart of it. They always had it, and it was a gambling house as well. And I would sit there and play blackjack and craps. And I would play until 9 a.m. and then I have a 10 a.m. read through for the network, and I go right to. There was times I would be at the blackjack table. I would do a line of coke, and I would look at a sketch and learn my lines, and then bet, and then drive.
It's brilliant. You distract one side of
Right.
your brain so that the memory portion is just all over.
Anybody, if you had that thing, Richard Pryor's movie JoJo Dancer, where his body's talking, the ghost is talking to him. Art, what are you doing? Art, you're gonna hit a wall, Art. You're gonna hit a wall. Then I'd get in a car, coke dripping from my nose, and a bottle of Jack. I'd get in my car and I would speed to Renmar Studios on Hollywood and Cahuenga, where we shot it. I'd get there. I wasn't fooling anybody. And but I hate to say this, I had so much fun. And then
I was going to say, how awesome is that life, dude?
I lived rock and roll for a while.
Yeah.
And they had hookers in there. They would say, pick out a chick. I would go out to the car and get a blowjob. There were times I would be getting blown at the light at Crescent Heights and Sunset. And I would ask the chick to get out. She'd get out of the car. At Crescent Heights and Sunset, she goes, I'll get out. I'm fine. She would fix her hair. I'd say, do you need a little while for your lips? And no, I'm fine. She would get out. Blow me at the light, get out. And but my buddy Orlando, I was living at the time, he knew the game out there. He goes, you got to slow down. Because I love gambling, I love risk. It was all those things at once. But so the Compton thing, in that way, I relate to it. It's just a fascinating story.
It's a great story,
It's about a real American success, right, Dante? I mean, are you fascinated by that whole thing?
You know what's funny though? It's funny because when you said, they were saying that Ice Cube wasn't hood because he was in college.
That was the rumor. Yeah,
but
I
went to
Arizona.
dude. I went to SUNY New Paltz, dude. I
Yeah.
went to SUNY
don't
New
matter.
Paltz.
Doesn't mean anything.
I hustled.
Right.
I've pimped.
You
I
put
was
yourself through college hustling, or are you?
No, it's
you put
fucking.
your
I
parents
had
up
this is gonna be insane. I had a scholarship. I had a fencing
I
scholarship.
believe it.
You had a
Wait,
what?
wait,
Whoa, whoa,
wait.
whoa,
How'd you
whoa,
get
whoa.
into fencing?
Well,
You what?
I had
Yeah,
a-
wait. Did you do fencing with a switchblade?
Hey, bro. Hey, bro, back up, bro.
my dad,
reference.
my dad had my dad worked for the Parks Department, New York City Parks Department. There was a guy who was supposed
That's
to
a great
go
story.
to the Olympics back in the 70s.
No
and
kidding.
he popped an Achilles heel the year he was supposed to go to the
He
Olympics.
popped it on an Olympic pussy. Did you know that?
Maybe.
Olympic.
He and he couldn't go to the Olympics, and he ended up taking a civil servant job with the New York City Parks Department. So he started teaching
No shit.
inner city kids fencing,
Wow.
and my dad just took me there when I was like 9.
That's an expensive, complicated sport,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
skiing.
The
You need-
equipment is-
You need the outfit.
Yeah, the
you
equipment
know,
is.
yeah.
I used to do it in basketball sneakers with white sweatpants. I just had a jacket, and I needed two. In order to compete, you had to have two working weapons.
Yeah.
And I used
Working weapons.
And I had I
Christ.
used to borrow a weapon from somebody else, put it, and then give
And
it
where'd
back
you
to
grow up?
I grew up in Brooklyn, Crown Heights.
In Brooklyn, you need two working weapons. And I would borrow a weapon.
So I would
What?
grab my mother's purse.
Well, no, you'd borrow a weapon for what? To do a crime? No, I'm fencing.
I'm
I had to
fencing.
qualify. Yeah, when you came in, you had to show them two working
What a
weapons.
great story that is.
And
I know a guy that fences weapons.
Have you ever written a book?
No, I'm working. We were talking about you set me
Yeah.
up with somebody.
Dude, well, again, here's the problem with the book business now. All they're going to talk about, because your story's a book, dude.
Yeah.
Aziz Ansari has a book out. The reason, it's about relationships. Talk about a snooze fest. But he has a way to promote it. And he has an audience.
Right.
You have an audience, but not doing a book.
that-
But
yeah.
I had a book in me, but I had to get on the Stern Show to get it made.
right.
Nowadays, I've made this joke before. It doesn't matter the quality of the book or the story. It's how can you promote it. If F. Scott Fitzgerald walked into a publishing office right now with the finished copy of The Great Gatsby, they'd say, "We love it. Can you get on Opie and Anthony tomorrow?" That's all they would care about. Is Ron and Fez available too?
Yeah.
That's all they would give a shit about.
Yeah.
You have a book, dude, and a
Yeah.
half. And I said that before. The problem is we just got to get you to maybe a little bit higher to where you could promote it.
Yeah. It's crazy. I've never been arrested.
Right. Well,
Not even
dude.
cuffed.
You danced around the raindrops.
You've never been harassed.
I've been harassed.
Oh, well, have
Fuck yeah.
you been thrown on?
arrested.
I've been roughed up.
You
I've been-
balleted through the raindrops.
But
Wow.
I've never been cuffed and put in the back of a police car and booked.
Got all that.
I've been
You got arrested at a comedy show.
I've been arrested about 18
Yeah.
times. I have an international arrest. I have a
My man. I'm going to give you a high five. My man.
Paris, France.
International.
Paris. I've been in this country, of course, Los Angeles, New York, New Jersey, and Miami.
The tri-state area, so you cover the tri-state area.
A lot in Jersey.
What about
I
Philly?
have
You
a-
got one in Philly?
South Jersey, not Philly.
I have
that's
a
still
lot
tough.
of assaults. I got a lot of.
No,
I
not
got
you.
about.
Doug.
I got about. Give or take 30 street knockouts.
What happened? Like, no one testified? No
Well,
one...
I used to. It's funny because I would hit a dude and then I would run like a scared white woman. I
That's
would
how you wanna
run
do
like
it.
they beat me
But
up.
that's the
How
way to
you
do it.
Yeah.
That's the way to
These
do
new
it.
motherfuckers stand there and look. I don't get who's taught you to stand
They do
there.
the Reggie Jackson look at the home run. You can't
no,
look at the home run.
fucking leave.
I'd jump in a cab,
Right.
leave my car there, and just take a cab,
Right.
go to a bitch
If
house.
you do something illegal,
yeah.
you can't
Run.
look at it like a home run.
No.
Because hitting a home run in the major leagues is legal.
Unless you're on juice.
All right. Well,
I was at stand up
Even
New
that
York.
will
I was
get
at
you
stand up
later.
New York, and this dude came in. He was wilding out, and I ended up choking him. I choked him out in front of stand up New York, and then it was funny because I had on alligator shoes and a fur coat. Right?
Ah!
He was literally pimping this dude.
of course you did.
And then I got up and Gabe was like, we gotta
talked
go.
you off?
We gotta go to the
Who
police.
talked you off him? Because nobody tried to pull you off. Who talked you off?
He kind of like
You saw them buckling?
yeah. Well, the guy was acting out, and I
Buck
had him.
Wildin'.
I had his neck. I had him face down, and I was torquing his neck. So he was kind of looking at me, but he was laying flat.
Twerking his neck.
And he goes, I give up. And I go, you can't give up. I'm going to break your neck, you fucking prick. And he starts frantically.
Okay, wait, I really give up. What's our safe word?
And then I let him up, and he was, and then I just jumped up and I jumped in the cab and I left.
Dante has lived a life
Good
of a
move.
shitty.
Did you get your
Netflix
$15 for the spot?
I already got paid.
Okay, good.
But then the guy had taped it, videotaped it, and
he
somebody
did.
told me they videotaped it, and I chased the dude
Yeah,
down
to
and
get back and
made
get the
him
tape.
and made him delete it.
Yeah, you have to listen.
Yeah.
Again, nowadays everybody's taping shit.
Yeah.
Did you find that guy? Did you see the tape you're looking at? Put your head where the other guy's head is. Maybe you want to delete that.
I'm going to show you how to twerk a neck. Well, listen, you did the right thing. After doing that, you have to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I just hustle,
You
run.
have to leave.
One of my comic friends, white dude.
Story's already bullshit.
Yeah, please.
But he in Philly one night, some like 4 dudes harassing him. They didn't know he could fight, so he turned around, he fucking hit the dude, boom. Dude went straight down, hit his head, whatever. But the dude ended up being cool. But
White guy?
the
Know
white
how to fight?
the white guy, yeah, he's a beast though on the low.
Those open mic nights get crazy.
But he went down and his white ass stayed. And he called me next day. He was like, yeah, the cops came.
His wife stayed?
No, the white guy, he stayed.
Oh.
He fucking
Sounded like you
stayed.
said wife, right?
This is why I said his white ass stayed. He stayed.
I thought he said his
Cops
wife had
came.
stayed.
Now this motherfucker, he sued him. He owed him $10,000. And I told him, I said, now you see why I said you should have fucking ran. You just run. You punched a dude. He said, what if he would have died? I said, that ain't got nothing to do with you. They were trying to,
Yeah, well,
4 dudes were trying to jump you. You had to fucking fight.
No, you're right, but they can make. Listen, MC Ren in Straight Outta Compton. Talk about him now, because a lot of the casual fan. See, I'm a casual fan. I didn't know. I've heard of MC Ren. I didn't know he was involved with NWA though.
The
He was
actor who
other
played him
guy.
was great, and yes, Ren was dope. Ren was. I didn't even know Ren was that heavy of a writer, and Ren was a fucking lyricist too.
Yeah.
But Cube was just. Like
Who's
Cube
the
made the
lyrical
hits,
monster?
and he made the other songs. Like Ren was the writer of the other shit, which
What
you need
other
the other
shit?
shit.
What other
the
shit?
other shit?
The
from the
other
album.
album.
Yeah.
You mean the filler stuff?
Yeah,
B-side.
the good
The
stuff.
other
Yeah,
B-sides.
it'd be good, but Cube wrote the great shit. He wrote the good shit. And even when Cube left, Ren was still with Eazy-E, so he was writing Easy shit
Trying to think.
against Cube. You know?
NWA, like obviously Tribe Called Quest, I can name their big hits. NWA, I know, Fuck the Police, of course.
Straight Outta Compton.
Straight Outta
Outta
Compton.
Compton.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to think
Express
about.
Yourself.
Like, what did Ice Cube write? What did Ice Cube write? Fuck the Police?
No Vaseline. He wrote "Fuck the Police." Yeah,
Yeah.
that was him adamantly.
And
he wrote-
what did Ren write? Like, what's an example of an MC
Ren, like I said, he wrote the B shit. That's stuff I can't recall by memory. That's not my.
I
that's
really
not my
wasn't
age.
Fuck
a
the
big
fireman.
NWA.
Fuck everybody else.
No, he's like, even we need firemen.
Fuck the
Fuck the
sanitation.
Fuck the firemen.
Fuck NYCHA.
I don't know. I know.
Fuck the MTA. I think that'd be
Yeah,
pretty
right.
I know NWA, but I don't know him that extensively. I like
Wait,
them.
did
but
you
I-
listen to them a lot? Because I didn't really.
That wasn't my shit.
I was a real East Coast lyricist.
They
I was
were-
like, what the fuck? Are
I
these
told you one of
motherfuckers
the
talking
funniest
about?
things as a listener of Howard Stern. He had LL Cool J on 1988. Cool J was just hitting big.
Yeah.
And not everybody who wasn't into the rap scene knew about NWA and what they stood for.
Right.
So at the end, Howard used to do this thing in the late 80s. Maybe Geno remembers this. At the end of whenever a guest was on, at the end, they would take a request. They'd say, what song you want to hear, what group, I'll play it, you know. And because they played a lot of music still on the station. So they said to Howard said to LL Cool J, do you have any niggers with attitudes? And Howard said, yeah, it's so hard to get good help these days. What song do you want to hear? and like he laughed at that, but it was just so quick. It was so quick. But first of all, to just have the balls, even as a black group, to name yourself that.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, the N-word's in the fucking title.
Yeah.
You know.
It
So
was dope, man.
there's a great. Do you guys know who Joe Bocci is? The comic Joe Bocci, little kid,
Heard the
kind of
name, but I
squeaky
don't-
voice.
Machi?
Machi, maybe. Is it
Yeah, Machi.
Okay, I saw him last night.
Joseph Machi.
Nice kid. He was on our old show. He came on with Sam Morrell. Him and Sam had an act.
Mackey? Joe Mackey.
Is it Mackey?
Joe Mackey.
That's
Okay,
how
that makes
that's how I
sense.
say
Mackey.
it, Joe Mackey. That's
That makes a lot more
I
He's
was
sense.
got a
Joe
great
Mackey,
joke.
yeah.
He's got a great joke. He goes, my password for my bank bank card is the N-word.
Yeah.
So if a black guy robs me and demands for my password, I go, listen, neither one of us want us to say it. neither one of us want me to say the password. He elaborates on it. It's very good. Very good. Check it out. Now, you helped Geno with the chick situation.
Well, he wouldn't listen.
Dante.
I don't listen.
He wouldn't listen. But
What was the issue?
It just was a bitch. Geno's a bitch.
You know Geno's right here.
Right here.
Jim, it's just that Geno is afraid to lose, and you can't be afraid to lose. You like he had
Gotta
some,
go right
he had
at it.
some cute little chick. She was a cutie.
She was letting me
a little
bang her.
young. She was a young. Here's the thing.
She's not letting you
That's
bang her.
the problem. That's where your mentality is for. Nobody's
Probably.
letting you bang her. When have you ever fucked somebody and you didn't put in more energy than the chick? That the chick put in more energy than you?
I mean, never.
Yeah.
Absolutely never.
Okay, so they're not doing you a favor.
She was doing me a favor,
You're
dude.
fucking.
Believe me.
This is. It's so. I mean, and
Your
you have to
infatuation
have
levels are too high.
Yeah, it's
you gotta
like-
stop being infatuated with this bitch.
Look, listen. You perform. Here's what I'm saying. First of all, as a man, you meet a chick.
Why'd you make air quotes when you said man?
Because I didn't really want to. Nobody saw it. You didn't have to.
Fucking hurtful, dude. What a dick. But as a man,
Thank you pay the bill. You take care. You got to listen to her goofy
As a
fucking
guy who pays
stories.
the bill.
You got to make everything okay when it isn't okay.
Yeah.
And what do you? And if you act like a bitch, then she finds she emasculates you and she dumps you because you're emasculating yourself.
Yeah.
wasn't acting
So
like a
you
bitch.
don't win. You don't win. There's nothing wrong with having a relationship, but if you have a relationship, you have to understand that you're losing, but you choose to lose.
Right.
But if I take care of you and I provide and I do it, when I leave my drawers on the fucking bathroom floor, pick them up and shut the fuck up.
So you're saying that if you're just
pretty
by-
much what he said was going to happen with that chick did happen,
well,
by the way.
I'm saying so. What you're saying, Dante, is just if you're just in a relationship, that alone means you're losing.
You're losing.
Right.
Yeah. Because our
So you don't get in a relationship?
no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying your manhood is attached to your ability to provide. That her ability to provide is not attached to her womanhood. Her pussy's attached to her womanhood. So if I can't provide, if I can't make everything okay, if I don't make her feel safe, then to her I'm not a man. So you give all of those things to her the minute you decide that you're in a relationship. The problem is you're losing, but then you don't mind losing. Then she defined. Here's a great way to put it. Women want to give you what they want to sell you. They don't want to give you what you want to buy.
Interesting.
So if I want a motorcycle and you're trying to sell me a Benz, even if it is a Benz, I don't want a Benz. I want a fucking motorcycle. So if I want a dirt bike and I want to run through the fucking woods, what good does a fucking a fucking coupe?
Nothing. Does you no good.
A 550 does me no good.
jerk off.
Nothing.
So you can't
Don't yell it.
sell me, and it's like you get women. People date people. All guys date women, and they go, "I've been with you 5 years. When are we gonna get married?" Look, how about you be a better bitch? I say that all. I have T-shirts that say "BABB, be a better bitch."
Be a better bitch.
If you got a chick and she comes home and she goes, "Babe, how was your sex? It was awesome, right? Well, maybe I could help you promote your social network, and I think you're so great. Can I suck your dick? Oh, maybe I could bring a girl over to fuck you, right? And we could.
Whoa,
we could
what a
both
jump
fuck
that
you.
was.
We,
He made a jump. Like,
Let me
can
suck
I
your
help
dick.
you?
He
Can
never
I help
will.
you tweet? Can I blow you?
He never brought this up.
Maybe I can help you tweet. Can my
hungry?
4 friends fuck you?
why don't my friends suck your dick and I'll go make a sandwich? I'll be right back.
I mean, that was a leap I've never seen before.
What's your name on Instagram? Let me suck your dick.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if she was doing that, you would marry her. She would
Marry her. I fucking build her a home.
Exactly. Exactly.
I put her in a vault.
But because when we meet a chick, we are the best of ourselves so that we can get them. We know that we're trying to sell ourselves. They don't. All they do is just like the Roman emperor. They go thumbs up or thumbs down. You're good enough. And the thing that we like most about women is how they like us. I love your taste in men when you like me.
Right, exactly.
But how many of them are really that interesting? Are really fucking awesome? None of them. I mean,
5.
You would. Patrice used to say this all the time.
Patrice
used to say this all the time. Never. He says you'll never see three guys hanging out having a great time. And he goes, you know what would be good if my girl was here. That never happens.
Well, people used to say to me in the Stern Show, "What's your idea of a perfect date?" I'm like, perfect date for me is me and four of my buddies play poker all night, watch Monday Night Football. At the very end of the night at 2 a.m., you run in, blow me, clean my apartment, and I go to sleep. That's a perfect date.
How easy would that? How easy would that be to get a ring?
I shed a tear when he said that. I don't know about y'all, but I shed tears.
That would give you a ring. A chick like that, you would go. Let me marry this chick.
Gladly take the ring.
But the reason why you're gonna get she's with you 3, 4, 5 years. When are we gonna get married? We're not getting married because you're not good enough. That's why.
You're the problem.
If you were, I would. Now, why does she want to marry you? Because you are good enough.
Yeah.
Because you've done everything that she wants you to do that makes you a viable entity for marriage.
Doing whatever I can here. Whatever I can, I'm fucking doing.
That would have been good to know.
Yeah.
You didn't listen, Geno. It sounded like you didn't listen to me. It sounded like you didn't listen.
Listen to you.
Because he's a bitch.
Whoa, you can listen to me. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good.
I mean, look, you're not listening.
I'm pretty good. I'm young, but I'm pretty fucking good.
All right.
You have to understand what your value is, and if she didn't value you, she wouldn't. Okay, let me put it to you like this: the minute she didn't think you were valuable, she dumped you. Right?
Repeatedly.
Exactly.
Right.
More than once, and then she'd come back and be like, "Okay."
You sound persistent though.
Okay.
How many times
I couldn't
did that
help but
happen?
notice you
Well,
showed
how
up with your vagina.
A lot.
How many times that happened?
Like 3 or 4
Oh,
at least.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listen.
But then the sex got, there's
That's
more
what
angry and
happens.
crazy.
That's what fucking
Sex is
happens.
everywhere. You can get pussy anywhere. There's so much pussy everywhere.
Yeah, but I'm too lazy. I needed to walk right up to me.
Pussy's crazy.
I do. Do I ever come on the show bragging, I'm such a ladies man? No.
You know what?
I'm at the point in my life where I don't say I fucked a girl. I'm like, she let me put my dick in her. That's what I say.
That's what it sounds like happened
so
to Mike Tyson. Was like, pussy's crazy. It gets in my head. It's driving me crazy. Just pussy's. I'm nuts from pussy. I like it a lot. I like pussy a lot. I know what these bitches is doing. That's crazy.
I'll tell a young dude what I call lay to 5 bricks. I tell a dude every day talk to 5 women a day.
Lay to 5 bricks.
Like every day you go and you say something. You got beautiful hair. And you do that for 8 weeks. At the end of that is 280 women. Most guys never approach 280 women in their lifetime.
Sure.
But you start to get a feel. You get over your approach anxiety. You start to approach them, and then sometimes women engage you back, and then you're forced to engage back, and you go to you will 280 women. You'll fall into some pussy.
Yeah.
I don't know if Geno will. According to his demeanor, he's just so fall in the pussy.
I got a pretty decent resume. I'm not saying I'm a ladies man, but I have a pretty good resume.
You always say that.
Yeah.
Anyway, maybe you could trip.
I have some
into
train wrecks on it, but I own the entire resume.
Hey, we all have train wrecks. Well, Dante, thanks for having so much for coming in, man. It's always fascinating, and we got again the website or the how do we
BasePhillip.com, and you can get a one-on-one consultation on Save Me Dante at gmail.com.
That's what I was looking for. What is this? I don't know.
Yeah, Geno and Dante go down to the pier.
Well, maybe another time.
If I go down to the pier with another big black dude, people are going to start to talk.
Nobody's talking.
Nobody's talking about you.
Nobody in the industry.
Chris Cotton, go ahead. What do you got?
Cotton 215, Periscope, Twitter, Instagram, CenterCityComedy.com.
Then Chris is going to be with me probably at
Podcast.
what are we doing? Levity Live.
Levity
Live Friday and Saturday. Come by. Geno, what are you doing?
It's every day on the SBR Forum. My daily sports video, Geno's Takes, premieres Friday. Very excited about that. And Tuesday, 25th, Roast Masters at the Stand with Vecchione. Very excited.
Oh, that's going to be fun. Good at the Stand.
It's going to be a great time.
Perfect. Filato, thank you. Dante, once again, thank you so much. Come back anytime.
Appreciate
Artie
it,
Quitter. Go to artiequitter.com. Like I said, Levity Live, and then Newton Theater, Newton, New Jersey, August 29th. And The Tonight Show. I'll be on The Tonight Show Thursday. Check it out.